I'm here to talk to you about Ayurveda. Introduction and background. Ayurveda or Ayurvedic medicine is an ancient system of healthcare that is native to the Indian subcontinent. It is presently in daily use by millions of people in India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, China, Tibet, and Pakistan. It is now in practice for healthcare in European countries also. The word Ayurveda is a Tatpurusha compound of the word Ayus, meaning life, age, or life principle, and the word Veda, which refers to the system of knowledge. According to the Charak Samhita, life itself is defined as the combination of the body sense organs, mind, and soul, the factor responsible for preventing decay and death. According to this perspective, Ayurveda is concerned with measures to protect Ayus, which includes healthy living, along with therapeutic measures that relate to physical, mental, social, and spiritual harmony. Ayurveda Ratna, the descent of Ayurveda, it is said that Ayurveda started originally as the word of Brahmaji. Brahmaji is considered to be the starter of Ayurveda. Brahmaji passed on the knowledge to Daksh Prajapati, who gave it to Bhagwan Indra, and Bhagwan Indra passed the knowledge to Rishi Bharadwaj. Bharadwaj in turn taught Ayurveda to a group of assembled sages who then passed down different aspects of this knowledge to their students. According to tradition, Ayurveda was first described in text form by Agnivesha named Agnivesh Tantra. The book was later redacted by Charaka and became known as Charaka Samhita. Another early text of Ayurveda is the Sushruta Samhita, which was compiled by Sushrut, the primary pupil of Dhanvantari, sometime around 1000 BC. Dhanvantari is known as the father of surgery. Following are the 8 branches of Ayurveda. Ashtanga of Ayurveda. The 8 branches of Ayurveda are internal medicine, Kaya Chikitsa Tantra, surgery, Shalya Tantra, ear, eyes, nose and throat, Shalakya Tantra, pediatrics, Komarabhritya Tantra, toxicology, Agada Tantra, purification of the genetic organs, Bajikarna Tantra, health and longevity, Rasayana Tantra, and spiritual healing or psychiatry, Bhut Vidya. The motto of Ayurveda is Swasthya Sayasthya Rakshanam Aturascha Vikar Prashnanam, which means preservation to health of healthy person and treating ailments with breaking causative factors of pathogenesis. The basic principles of Ayurveda is based on the following theories: Panch Mahabhuta theory, 5 elements; Panch Mahabhuta theory, the 5 elements; Tridosha theory, 3 body humors; Tridosha theory, and Saptadhatu theory, 7 body tissues. Let's first talk about Panch Mahabhut theory. The basic premise of Ayurveda is that the entire cosmos or universe is part of one singular absolute. Everything that exists in the vast external universe also appears in the internal cosmos of the human body. So, whatever exists in the microcosm, the external universe, also happens in the human body microcosm. The human body consists of 50 to 100 million cells. When healthy, is in harmony, self-perpetuating and self-correcting, just as the universe is. The ancient Ayurveda text, Charaka, says, man is the epitome of the universe. Within man, there is as much diversity as in the world outside. Similarly, the outside world is as diverse as human beings themselves. In other words, all human beings are the living microcosm of the universe, and the universe is a living macrocosm of the human beings. Next, Panch Mahabhuta theory, five great elements. The Panch Mahabhuta or five great elements of Ayurveda are Prithvi or Bhumi, earth, Up or Jala, water, Agni or Tejas, fire, Vayu or Pavan, air or wind, and Aksha, Akasha, ether. Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, or Akash. These are the five Mahabhuta of Ayurveda. The concept of Mahabhut in other civilizations, in Western, they believe in air, water, ether, fire, and earth. In Chinese, they believe in water, metal, earth, wood, and fire. The Japanese believe in earth, water, fire, air, wind, void, sky, and heaven. Similarly, in New Zealand, they believe in air, water, flora, fire, and earth. The Greek classical elements are fire, earth, air, and water. They represent in Greek philosophy, science, and medicine the realms of the cosmos wherein all things exist and whereof all things consist. According to Galen, these elements were used by Hippocrates in describing the human body with an association with the four humors: yellow bile, fire; black bile, earth; blood, air; and phlegm, water. The third is the Tridosha theory. The central concept of Ayurvedic medicine is the theory that health exists when there is a balance between three fundamental body humors or doshas called Vat, Pitta, and Kapha. Vat is the air principle necessary to mobilize the functions of the nervous system. Pitta is the fire principle which uses bile to direct digestion and hence metabolism into the venous system. And Kapha is the water principle which relates to mucus, lubrication, and the carrier of nutrients into the arterial system. In Ayurvedic philosophy, the five elements combine in pairs to form three dynamic forces or interactions called doshas. Dosha means that which changes. It is a word derived from the root thus, which is equivalent to the English prefix dis, such as in dysfunction, dystrophy, etc. In this sense, dosha can be regarded can be regarded as a fault, mistake, error, or a transgression against the cosmic rhythm. The doshas are constantly moving in dynamic balance one with the others. Doshas are required for the life to happen. In Ayurveda, dosha is also known as the governing principle, as every living thing in nature is characterized by the doshas. Dosha related elements: Vat is related to air and ether, Pit is related to fire and water, and Kaph is related to water and earth. Effect of constitution. People with the Vat constitution, movement, breathing, natural urges, transformation of the tissues, motor functions, sensory functions, undergroundedness, secretions, excretions, fear, emptiness, anxiety, thoughts, life force, nerve impulses. Pith, body heat, temperature, digestion, perception, understanding, hunger, thirst, intelligence, anger, hate, and jealousy. Kaph, stability, energy, lubrication, forgiveness, greed, attachment, accumulation, holding, and possessiveness. Balanced tridosha means a healthy person. Every person contains all three doshas. However, the proportion varies according to the individual, and usually one or two doshas predominate. Within each person, the doshas are continually interacting with each other and with the doshas in all of nature. This explains why people can have much in common but also have an endless variety of individual differences in the way they behave and respond to the environment. Concept of Prakriti and Vikriti. According to Ayurveda, the basic constitution is determined at the time of conception. This constitution is called Prakriti. The term Prakriti is a Sanskrit word which means nature, creativity, or the first creation. One of the very important concepts of Ayurveda is that one's basic constitution is fixed throughout his lifetime. The combination of Vat, Pith, and Kaph that was present in the individual at the time of conception is maintained throughout lifetime. Different persons can have different combinations of Vat, Pith, and Kaph as their basic constitution or Prakriti. This is how Ayurveda can explain the subtle differences between individuals and explains why everyone is unique and that two persons can react very differently when exposed to the same environment or stimuli. Your Prakriti is unique to you just as your fingerprint and DNA. Thus, in order to understand a person, it is necessary to understand a person, it is necessary to determine his or her Prakriti. A couple of parameters are explained in Ayurveda to determine the Prakriti of the human. Are you flexible, optimistic, ambitious, practical, intense, calm, peaceful, or solicitous? Such type of questionnaire is described in Ayurveda to evaluate the Prakriti of a person. After finding the right Prakriti, Then an Ayurvedic physician goes for finding Vikruti, pathology. How do we get sick? Ayurveda holds that specific disease conditions are symptoms of an underlying imbalance. It does not neglect relief of these systems, but its main focus is on the big picture to restore balance and to help you create such a healthy lifestyle that the imbalance won't occur again. Living in health and balance is the key to a long life free from disease. Perhaps the most important lesson Ayurveda has to teach is that our health is up to us. Every day of our lives, every hour of every day, we can and do choose either health or illness. When we choose wisely, nature rewards us with the health and happiness. When we persistently choose unwisely, nature, in her wisdom, eventually sets us straight. She makes us sick and gives us a chance to rest and rethink our choices. Once you know what your dosh is, you must take steps to correct it. The various ways of doing it are changing your lifestyle by exercising and by eating healthy. I would like to talk about eating. An imbalance of doshas in the body can be checked with the help of the herbal remedies, warm oil massages, yoga, and your diet. To balance each dosha, certain foods need to be consumed while some need to be avoided. For balancing cough, one of the major reasons for cough imbalance is excessive food consumption and therefore a light, low fat diet of bitter, pungent, and astringent tastes is recommended. This can include steamed or raw vegetables, ripe fruits, grains like oats, rye, barley, and millets, honey and strong spices like pepper, cardamom, cloves, mustard, and turmeric. Kapha Prakriti should avoid fats, milk, and rice in their daily diet but can consume them occasionally. Balancing Vata, high consumption of spicy and astringent foods contributes to Vata imbalance, hence, a peacemaking diet with salty, sweet, and sour tastes and warm, moist, and easily digestible foods is recommended. This includes vegetables like broccoli, leafy vegetables, and cauliflower, wheat, or rice, mild spices like cumin, ginger, and cinnamon. In addition, moist foods like berries, melons, and yogurt can help counterbalance Vata's dry quality, as can other hydrating cooked foods such as soups or stews. Oily foods like avocado, buttermilk, cheese, eggs, whole milk, coconut, nuts, and seeds are supportive as well. Vat Prakriti people should have slightly fatty food and drink warm milk at night. Balancing Pith, excessive consumption of alcohol and spicy, oily, fried, salty, and fermented foods may result in Pith imbalance. Pith Prakriti should avoid very spicy, acidic, or hot foods. Pith balance can be restored with sweet, bitter and astringent tastes, and heavy cool foods such as sweet fruits, dairy products, curry leaves, barley, oat, and mint. Avoid sour fruits, red meat, potatoes, tomatoes, and eggplant. Irrespective of what your prakriti is, you must always eat your food on time. The ingredients should be seasonal, and your meals should have a balance of all the nutrients required by a body to maintain good health and well being. The basic difference between Ayurveda and Western allopathic medicine is important to understand. Western allopathic medicine currently tends to focus on symptomology and disease, and primarily uses drugs and surgery to get rid the body of pathogens or diseased tissue. Many lives can be saved by this approach. In fact, surgery is encompassed by Ayurveda. However, drugs, because of their toxicity, often weaken the body. Ayurveda does not focus on disease. Rather, Ayurveda maintains that all life must be supported by energy in balance. When there is minimum stress and the flow of energy within a person is balanced, the body's natural defense systems will be strong and can more easily defend against disease. It must be emphasized that Ayurveda is not a substitute for Western allopathic medicine. There are many instances when the disease process and acute conditions can best be treated with drugs or surgery. Ayurveda can be used in conjunction with Western medicine to make a person stronger and less likely to be afflicted with disease and to build his body rather than being treated with drugs or surgery. We all have times when we don't feel well and recognize that we are out of balance. Sometimes we go to the doctor only to be told that there's nothing wrong. What is actually occurring is that this imbalance has not yet become recognizable as a disease. Yet it is serious enough to make us notice our discomfort. We may start to wonder whether it is just our imagination. We may also begin to consider alternative measures and actively seek to create balance in our body, mind, and consciousness. Ayurveda encompasses various techniques for assessing health. The practitioner carefully evaluates key signs and symptoms of illness, especially in relation to the origin and cause of the imbalance. They also consider the patient's suitability for various treatments. The practitioner arrives at diagnosis through direct questioning, observation, and a physical exam, as well as inference. Basic techniques such as taking the pulse, observing the tongue, eyes, and physical form, and listening to the tone of the voice are employed during the assessment. In summary, Ayurveda addresses all aspects of life, the body, mind, and spirit. It recognizes that each one of us is unique, each responds differently to the many aspects of life, each possesses different strengths and weaknesses. Through insight, understanding, and experience, Ayurveda presents a vast wealth of information on the relationship between causes and their effects, both immediate and subtle, for each unique individual. Thank you very much for sitting through this talk. I hope you liked it, and I hope you will read more about Ayurveda and learn more about Ayurveda and try to enrich your life and lifestyle. I would like to conclude now. The theoretical side of Ayurveda provides insight on how to live one's life in harmony with nature and natural laws and rhythms. Its practical side, specifically its guidelines for an intelligently regulated diet and daily routine, its techniques for stress management, and its exercises for increased fitness and alertness help us take control of our lives and develop radiant health. Thank you. I'm Anand Mittal on Ayurveda. Have a good day.